So you may be asking yourself, what the heck is this? Well, this is a mold that I'm making to make one of these. This is the broken one. In there is a good one. And those are air holes. Well, actually, these two are air holes. And I'm going to pour plastic into there and make a mold of that part. This material to make the mold is made by this company Smooth On. It's a silicone rubber mold maker, and I've used this for a number of different projects. And this is a form that I've had this used to a number of different projects, and I'm going to see if it works. I've kind of been wasting time waiting for the weather to get better and also waiting for my brake parts to come back before I kind of light up the engine, which is hopefully something I'll get to this week. This is a test sheet that I'm going to do. I completely screwed up the stamper for putting the stamp on my on my ballast resistor. So I took some of the paint and I put it on a piece of plate glass, and I'm going to test this stamper technique on this surface here before I actually do it on the ballast resistor again. So that's what's going on this morning. Interesting stuff. Get back to you later with an update. All right, well, here's an update. I got my brake master cylinder back and from Apple Hydraulics, and they basically said that they don't have the seals to repair this. I kind of doubt that, but I don't think they just wanted to deal with me. But anyway, it came back with some, well, quite a bit of loss of paint, but it actually looks kind of original. So I'm going to leave it. I am going to have to wash this thing down, though, because there's probably brake fluid eating away at that paint. All right, so here's the deal. I kind of got lucky here. These are the vacuum seals that go on the back of, they go right here at the it's the last seal that gets retained for vacuum and most of the fluid. And what I did was I installed it this way, and it should be installed I'm doing this with one hand. It should be installed this way. The rule of thumb is that the high edge always faces the fluid. So I had it in the wrong orientation, and I also clipped off a little bit of the rubber when I installed it, so I completely lost the vacuum seal, and that's why it was leaking out the back. Luckily enough, I have an aftermarket replacement for it. And as you'll notice, this 3-piece deal was replaced with a 1-piece deal. Same thickness, and this is made by FAG. I don't know who they actually are. So this is going to go in there. I've got to put some, and it actually goes right on the end here, on the push rod. So you have this little metal washer, then you've got the seal, then you have another metal washer. You press this whole thing into the the piston, the bore, I should say, and you're done. So I'm going to do that. I think I have everything pretty much in order. So, you know, these seals, which I replaced, are pretty good. I mean, they're brand new. They came from an Ate kit. So this is turning out to be a semi-expensive adventure. And by the way, I bought a whole new brake master cylinder in case this one doesn't work. So that's the story. So I'm going to get to putting this thing back together and get it back on the car, test it out, and see if we have a good system, a viable system. All right, well, I have the master cylinder back together for the second time. It's cleaned up. I got the seals in and everything. I put the rubber grommets in here for the reservoir. I'm going to put some grease on there to ease this going in. And then I can mount it up to the car, tighten up the brake lines, and then I'll have vacuum in the booster so that so I can take this ridiculous thing off of here and I can start the car without having to worry about the vacuum leak that would be introduced there. So that's that. So let me get that done, and we'll get on our way a little bit later. Well, I have a number of things to report. First of all, I decided to take my fuse box off the car. And the reason is I wanted to inspect all of the connections on the back over here. And you might ask why. Well, it's a good thing to do anyway for a car that's been sitting around for 40 years. But I made a very significant breakthrough. I also cleaned up the starter relay over here. But I made a significant breakthrough on the seatbelt interlock device, which is over here. And almost by mistake, I found that if you disconnect the fuel pump, the lights will work, which I've been trying to get working for a week or two. So what's happening is there's a very significant voltage drop occurring on the circuit that happens to control both of those, that single circuit. And so the first thing, of course, to do to investigate a voltage drop is and it's this wire right here. So the first thing to do on investigating a voltage drop is make sure that you have good connections. Now, my guess is the connections are probably fine, but I think what's going to happen is the fuel pump itself is drawing too much current. And it's, see what's happening here is, which is it actually? I forget. It's 6. I think it is this circuit here. Actually, these are inputs. Oh, these are outputs. These are inputs. There's brown. It's this one right here. This one right here where my finger is tapping. It's that brown and green black. But anyway, so I'm going to clean up the fuse box. There's nothing really magical about this. What I'm going to do is clean the back of those terminals with this Dremel I've got, and then use contact cleaner. A lot of dust in there. And then I'm going to take the fuses out individually and clean those contact points both sides also. So that's going to be about an hour's worth of work, and then I'll put it back in and see what I get.